you found us. This is the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Welcome.
Welcome back to another episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. So a student of mine, Aaron Cox, and you listen to the podcast, Aaron, thank you so much. You had recommended a wonderful voice talent, Christy Harst, who has a unique approach to things as well as something that she wants to chat about. And I'm excited. Christy, you had time to come on the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. Any chance that I get to evangelize the mission of the campaign I'm working on, I take it.
I was just on your website and seeing several ladies that I know, buildingdoorsvo.com. So this is really, really cool. So, all right, let's backtrack. Obviously, you're a voice talent. How long have you been doing that?
20 years.
20 years. Okay. And you're in Ohio?
I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland.
OH.
Okay, good. Okay. So give me the rough backstory there on how this all came about, or what is the majority of your voiceover work in now, genre wise? Do you think that there's a genre right now that you specialize in or get a lot of work in?
So I often get hired to voice e-learning. I do sprinklings of commercials and like corporate narration.
Okay. And so when it came to the idea of promo, was it promo in general, or did you specifically think, I want to do sports promo?
So about, 5-6 years ago, I attended a workshop where Joe Cipriano was doing a promo workshop, and I knew nothing about promo, absolutely nothing. And it was the only one that was open. Like everybody else had already filled the other ones.
Okay.
And so I was like, well, I guess I got to go into this workshop. All right.
That surprises me, though.
Right. And then I did it and I fell in love. Oh, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love how promo is 7 words and each word tells its own story.
Yeah.
I love how quick it is because I'm a sprinter. I'm not an audiobook marathon person. I just loved everything about it. So I dove in deep, trying to get into promo. And then I discovered sports promo. Say what? You mean I could do promo for sports? I'm a former college athlete and my kids are super athletic and I'm a sports fan. I thought, wow, this is matching up perfectly.
Yeah. Who are your favorite teams?
So Cleveland Browns, any Cleveland team. I'll just say that. Any Cleveland team. I also like the Buffalo Bills and really just about any women's sport, right? Like any women's sport. My daughter and I, she's a golfer. And last year we went to the Buckeye Invitational at Ohio State University to watch the Division I OSU girls golf tournament.
Oh, fantastic.
So it was great. It was great to see D1 athletes up close and personal.
Yeah.
So that was a great experience. So I decided to make sports promo my thing. Like when a voiceover person decides to make their lane,
Yeah.
they
Passionate.
They go 10 toes deep, right? So I worked with coaches, promo coaches. I worked with people to get professional demo produced. I started doing out of the box marketing, creating videos for my favorite teams, and nothing was landing. And so, 4 years in, I was doing an online workshop, and the person leading it was prominent promo LA agent, a female. And I basically just said to her, what are my chances of landing a gig in male dominated sports promo? And she was like, yeah, not so much. And I was like, say what? And she goes, it's not because there aren't women trying to create these opportunities.
Yeah.
It's because when the decision climbs up and up and up the ladder, it eventually gets to a middle-aged white man who says no.
Right. Yep.
That's where it stops. And so the next day I woke up and I was just, for lack of a better term, because I know it's dangerous to use this word in association with how a woman feels, but I was angry, frustrated, disappointed. And I thought to myself, well, I've got 2 choices in front of me. One, I can say, screw it. I'm done. I'm done trying to go down the sports promo lane. I'm just going to focus on what I'm getting hired for, e-learning, corporate narration, dusting of commercials, right? Or if there's no door for me to even knock on, why don't I just build one? And why don't I bring a whole bunch of women with me?
That's fantastic.
And so this workshop happened like February 9th or something. And
what year?
I realized.
What year was this?
This year.
Oh, this year. Current. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 2024. And I realized that March was Women's History Month. And I'm like, I should launch something for Women's History Month in 2 weeks because that makes total sense to give yourself 2 weeks
2 weeks
to put something together, Christy. That makes so much sense.
You're brave.
Let's drop everything and do this campaign, Christy. And that's what I did. I started calling up all these women that I had met at VO Atlanta's, at workshops. And I was like, are you down for this get down? They're like, hell yeah, let's do
That's
it.
awesome.
And I was like, great.
Mm-hmm.
So I researched scripts in male dominated genres like cars, like whiskey, sports, EA sports, like gaming.
Mm-hmm.
And I found scripts that were originally voiced by men. I collected them in a Google Doc, sent them out to these women. I said, pick a script, record
Fun.
it. We're going to create a video and we're going to tag the brand and we're going to try and get these brands' attention and see what happens.
That's wonderful.
And so that first month, what was amazing was Emma O'Neill did a spot for Valvoline. I was able to take the traction from that and reach out to them. They answered. I ended up having a face-to-face conversation with the CMO of Valvoline. Valvoline, their president, vice president, chief financial officer, and the chief marketing officer are all women.
Wow.
And so when I had this conversation with them, they said, listen, until your campaign, we didn't even think about it. Like we didn't even think about voiceover as an opportunity for diversity. Like we just always went with status quo.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because of your campaign, we are going to require our ad agency to present an equal number of men to an equal number of women in any campaigns that we move forward in for voiceover.
Wow. Amazing.
That's a win, right? That's a little piece
huge,
of that
though.
door I was talking about built, right? So moving forward, because I was only going to do it for 1 month, but then I realized that that's not smart and that I should continue. So I decided to continue and it's grown. It's grown a lot.
That's amazing. I know I've had my experiences I've done promo for a long time in my career, but mine has been not sports promo. Mine is like Disney and HSN and TLC and the things that fit my voice. But 10 years ago, I got down to like the top 2 for the NFL. They were considering a woman at that point, and I couldn't believe it. And I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. And then the agent calls and goes, yeah, no, they decided to stick with a guy. I was like, all right, but at least I guess somebody in the trenches was like, let's see if a female would sound good with something like this. You know,
it's so interesting you share that story because just today, ever since I started this campaign, I get emails and direct messages of women sharing their story.
Mm.
And that exact story I have heard
Really?
probably over a dozen times.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Christy, I was last in line for this and they went with a man. Hey, Christy, I was actually booked. I was chosen. And then right before they were scheduled to air, I got a call from my agent and said they went with a man.
Yeah.
I hear these stories all the time.
That's amazing.
And so I'm going to ask you, what does that say to you? What does that say to you that women at the last second are getting pulled from these jobs or it's given to somebody else? What does that say to you?
In my experience, it has been, like you had said before, the status quo. Also, a known quantity seems to be a known talent that is in the circles already seems to be the one that usually gets the gig. And it's very difficult to sway, the heads and people, what they're used to doing, what they're used to casting and booking. And that's what I have come across. That's what I think is happening.
Yeah. And I think too, it speaks volumes to what the agent told me in that workshop.
Yeah.
Which is, it's not for a lack of women trying.
Right.
It's not for a lack of producers and behind the scenes writers and all those other people working to create roles for women. That's not the challenge here. The challenge is at the decision-making process because like you said, you made it all the way to the top 2, right?
Yeah. It didn't matter.
These dozen or so other women reached out to me. I made it. I booked it and I got pulled, all this stuff, right? So it's not for a lack of that. It's a lack of changing the mindset of centuries of, right. You get it.
I did something for CNN ages ago, only because I got in through someone who knew someone. It wasn't through an agent audition. I did a job for them, and then they had me do another job, And I'd asked the producer, I was like, "How? This is great." And he goes, "I'm just going to be honest with you. We never use women." He said, "So that's why I'm not calling you frequently. That's why we don't need women." And I was like, damn, why not? I mean, women can do incredible news promo, but it was just one of those realities. I was like, okay, this is how it is. And I only got in because someone got me in too. It wasn't even like a standard. So I know, I hear you. This is why this is really, it's an amazing concept. So you've been doing this since March, and I guess every month the ladies are doing their bit, and then social media, you're having all of that head out.
Yeah. So the first month we featured, I think it was 13 or 14 women. I realized, excuse me, once I decided to continue that was not a pace in which I could keep up by myself. So we decided to do one woman a month, and each month would have a theme. So we did an NFL month. We did an MLB month, mostly sports. We are in October now. October is beer month, which is very exciting. Next month, we're going to do something special with a partner organization. And then December is going to be kind of a mixed bag because I don't feel comfortable introducing new women in December when that's such a busy month to begin with.
Right.
Everybody's got crazy stuff going on and it wouldn't be fair. So I'm going to create something different for December. And then moving forward in 2025, when I say we, I mean the collective we. Yes, I created the campaign, but I can't do this anymore just by myself. Like, it's a lot of work.
Seems
and
like it.
Financial investment as well. Like, I've invested quite a chunk of my own money. So
sure.
Moving into 2025, I've created different levels of participation for all the women that we featured in 2024. And so there's going to be ambassadors, there's going to be key holders and door builders. And so moving forward, ambassadors are going to help shape the campaign. They're going to help choose 2025 door builders. Key holders will have access to all the branded elements, because I did have women consistently reaching out to me saying, "Hey, Christy, can I put the logo on my website? Christy, I want to go represent Building Doors at a local event. Can I wear a t-shirt? Can I do something?"
Yeah.
And so I'm now providing that opportunity to them. So I created these levels so that you get something of value in return. So, like, here's all the branded elements. You want to do more reels? Great, no problem. Here's a reel template. At the end, you can slap on this branded image. Go to town, right?
Right.
Do everything that you want to do so that you can advance your own business. Because to me, when I take a step back, which is hard, but when I take a step back and I look at what the campaign is right now, and I look at how it's grown, and I look at the requests that I'm receiving from women, both inside and outside of the campaign, what has been created is something that women can use as a tool to not only advance the mission of Building Doors and equality, but also advance their business. So why not provide them with these tools? Because we should all be winning.
Right.
Because when we all win, it makes it easier for you to not get that job taken away from you, right?
Right.
So the more we all come together and support each other, the more we all scream and shout and tag and share, the more we elevate each other's voices. And a great example of that is Ashley Tirado. Ashley Tirado was one of my OGs in March. She did a spot for Honda Sport, and someone, she doesn't know who, someone saw her reel online, sent it to an ad agency in Florida. That ad agency then hired her to do a series of Honda spots.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
But let's talk about what's really great about it. What's great about it is that the reason Ashley was seen by that person is because everyone in the campaign and in the public shared it.
Yep.
So now Ashley has millions of eyes on her voice and her
Wow.
ability to present. Let's do that for everybody, right? Let's do that for all the women to our left, to our right, right? Because when that happens, there's more women's voices out there. There's more women voicing for brands that probably wouldn't have as many women. And that's going to help the change that's needed so that you no longer have a job pulled from you. You no longer are the second, you're the first choice.
Now, do you have parameters in place as to what the content would be from each talent, or is it you just give people the tools and say, go for it?
What do you mean exactly? I'm confused. You mean one of the scripts?
Yeah. Like, so if you have people that are promoting do they need to mention certain things, or is it just strictly them performing and showcasing what they do and then tying it back to the website? And I mean, is that how this is?
Yeah. So basically, if you're a key holder or an ambassador, you have access to all of our branded elements. I've created, so you can have the logo, you can put that on your website. There is an auto signature that was created by Amy Selma, who was in NASCAR month. And you can put that at the bottom of your email signature to say you're a proud door builder and a link to the website.
That's great.
You have access to post templates that I've created so that you can post about building doors, include your own picture, include whatever you want. And there's a little branded element of building doors so that you can promote yourself within the brand, because the brand does have value. You can also create reels. And so at the end, there's an end card, and I give a couple options for them to slap an end card that is building doors branded so that they are showing that they are within the campaign.
Sure.
They're a part of the campaign, and they can tag us, they cannot tag us. What I think is important to know is that with these tools, right? These marketing tools, these packages that I'm giving out, you can use all of this stuff. Like I give email templates. I give 2 examples of emails that have converted for me in speaking to brands like Valvoline, in speaking to brands like the Cleveland Guardians face to face. So you're getting examples of how you can reach out and use the campaign as a way, right? Because I'm sorry, let's break it down.
Please.
I'm passionate about this because as a voice actor in the game for as long as I have been, the challenges that I've faced in marketing myself, let's get real.
Right.
How many times do you send an email and get no response? How many times do you do 7, 9 touches and not get a response? A lot of these companies are getting hundreds of these emails a week, right? From voice actors, production companies.
Especially now.
So how do you set yourself apart? Well, here's how you can set yourself apart. You can say, hey, producer XYZ, my name's so-and-so. I'm a voice actor and I'm a part of the Building Doors campaign. And we are on a mission to provide equity in voiceover. I'd love to chat with you a little bit about the campaign and introduce myself as well as the mission. You're more likely going to get a response from an email like that, right?
As opposed to
than you would.
Yeah. I'm a voiceover talent and listen to my demo. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So now women can use this as a tool. So then they get on a call and they're like, yes, let me tell you all about Building Doors. Here's the website, la-di-da-di. I'd love to talk to you about helping you with your brand or helping you or get on your in-house roster. Is, you know what I'm saying? Like it opens up an opportunity.
Yeah.
And I just think that the more opportunities that women have to advance themselves in voiceover, the more we should support each other in doing so. Because with the advent of AI, all the changes that are happening in our world right now, it's not easy.
Right. Totally agree. Now, how does someone become an ambassador?
Right. So listen. Listen. The ambassador role is an important one because it does involve a time commitment. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
The ambassadors are the ones that are really going to be taking stuff off my plate so that I don't feel like I have,
Yeah, it's a lot.
All this work. Right. It's a lot. So can you hear my dog or no?
I hear something, but I'm very
good. Okay.
Not
all right.
Yeah. Don't worry about
I'm
it.
I'm in a studio brace. Great. So ambassadors, I capped at 10 this year. And I wanted to give that opportunity to the women who have voiced in 2024, who have been with me, who understand what we're trying to do. And so there is an investment for each level. And so their investment gives them all those tools, plus the ability to help make decisions on how this campaign moves forward. So ambassadors are filled. Those are filled fairly quickly, in fact. The other 2 positions are key holders and door builders. The only way you can be a key holder or a door builder is if you are asked to be a part of the campaign. So you have to be someone who has voiced for the campaign. So moving forward in 2025, I have opened up submissions. So if you want to be a door builder, email me at Christy@ChristyHarst.com, ChristyHarst, Christy@ChristyHarst.com. Just send me some links to your work. I actually put them in a folder. And I'm going to set up a meeting with all the ambassadors at the end of October, beginning of November. And we are going to create a system in which, we score all of them. And there will be 12. There will be one woman per month. She will have the option to voice either one 30-second spot that was previously voiced by a man in a male-centric genre, or she can choose to do 3 spots, 10 seconds each, to total for 30. So imagine voicing 10 seconds of a whiskey ad, followed by NFL, followed by a tech piece, right? And we would work with that person to collect those scripts and get it all together. Brandon Miller, the VO craftsman, he was in my Mark Scott VOpreneur mastermind. He was one of the people that I called the next day after I had that workshop in frustration. And he is the first person I pitched building doors to. And he agreed and volunteered to do all the videos for free.
Wow.
He didn't know what he was getting into.
Yeah.
Either did I, really. So what Brandon did was moving forward for 2025, because we're only going to do one a month, he created a Canva class on how to create a building door reel. And so the women have an option to buy that directly from him. And so they can create their own reels or just create reels for your business, for whatever you want to do, right? Here's an educational tool that you can use to advance your business. So moving forward, we're only going to do one a month. Now, with that said, I am getting a lot of submissions, and these women are down with the building doors get down, and they're massively talented, right? How am I going to choose? How are the ambassadors and I going to choose 12?
That's tough.
It's tough. So right now there's mental Post-it notes floating in my head thinking, well, maybe there's other categories we can create. Maybe they don't necessarily read a spot, but maybe we feature them in a different way. And maybe there's different groups we can come up with. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm going to have to run this by the ambassadors, but we'll see.
So backing up a minute, though. So the only way that you can submit is if you've actually done the campaign?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute.
No, ma'am. So the only way you can even be an ambassador, a key holder, or a door builder is if you have participated in the campaign as a woman who reads a script. Does that make sense?
No.
So every woman featured in 2024. So if you were a door builder in 2024 and you were featured for NASCAR month, you have been given the option to participate as an ambassador, a key holder, or a door builder. There's 3 different levels.
Okay.
Okay. So if you participated in 2024, I'm saying to you, hey, I need some help. If you'd like to participate, here are 3 different ways you can participate. And this is what you get in return for participating.
Okay. So your levels are?
Ambassador, key holder, door builder.
Door builder is entry?
Entry.
Entry.
Door builder is entry. Key holder is the middle. And then ambassador is the top. Ambassador is already filled. And moving forward, let's say Ann Smith. I don't know who Ann Smith is. I'm making up a name. Let's say Ann Smith submitted and the ambassadors chose her. I'm going to call up Ann Smith and I'm going to say, hey, Ann, how you doing? Yeah, will you be a door builder? Would you like to be a door builder in 2025? I'm read a script and we'll make a video for you and la-di-da-di. And Ann's going to say, yeah. I'm like, okay, Ann, do you want to participate as a door builder? As a door builder, your reel will be featured on our newly designated Instagram and LinkedIn pages. You will be featured on our website with a link to your reel on the website with your headshot and name.
Okay.
And for that, you must pay $75 as a way, annually, as a way to help maintain the cost of the website.
Okay.
Or Ann, if you wanted to, and you don't have to make this decision now, Ann, but if you find yourself to be really passionate and down with the get down, and you want to go represent building doors at a local networking event, if you want to have access to branded elements to learn how to create reels on your own, if you want to put the logo on your website, if you want to get an email template so that you can reach out to potential clients and brands and talk about the mission and use it as a tool, well, then you could be a key holder, Ann. And then there's a cost for the key holder. You see what I mean?
Gotcha.
So like all these 12 women will have the opportunity to make that decision. And the women that I have spoken to from 2024 have, I wasn't going to do this, but they said they wanted to. And I was like, fine. They want merch.
Okay.
And so I'm like, fine, you want a t-shirt? Let's get a t-shirt. You want a sweatshirt? Let's get a sweatshirt. You want a mug? Great. Let's get a mug. So we're thinking we're going to open that up to people as well. So there's going to be ways that this brand is going to grow and evolve in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned from 2024 is that I really need to listen to what people are saying to me and what they're asking me for and provide a way to give that to them. Because when I started this, I had no idea this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be like this.
Is this something that's accessible to someone just entering the business, or is it more for someone who's more experienced?
I'm so glad you asked me that. Up until this campaign, I had never worked in sports promo. So why would I exclude someone that's never worked in promo to have access to the opportunity to be in the campaign?
Okay.
I am not represented by one of the larger agents. So why would I deny an opportunity to a woman who is not represented and has 20 years experience? And do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make sense.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I feel as though that, unfortunately, I don't have access to the opportunities that someone else would if they were represented by the larger agencies, if they had, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So I want to create those for other women. So anybody can submit. Anybody can submit. And I go and I listen to their stuff. And so will the ambassadors now in 2025. And listen, what's important is this. Yeah, you've got to have a great voice, right? You've got to have decent studio booth sound, all that other stuff.
You got to have
but
talent,
what we're really looking for is someone who's going to help advance the mission.
Right. That's the ultimate goal.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, okay. So how does someone submit? Give us that information, because I mean, I have a lot of students, some female students that are fantastic, and they're just starting out, they're just starting out, and I'm sure that they have questions on, hey, I'm thinking of one right now. So yeah, how would someone submit?
Email me at christy@christyharst.com.
So, okay, I'll put it in the notes then. But that's important to know, that it's accessible to, because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not good enough to do that or whatever. But hey, you never know. I mean, I didn't know I was going to be good at promo when I started in this business. I literally was like, I'm an audition for everything. I had no clue. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm booking. And oh my gosh, it's really fun. So you don't know. You don't know till you know.
Yeah. And I'm all about offering the opportunity because do you know how many women are really talented and really skilled? They just don't have access to the opportunities.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Let's create those opportunities for women.
Yeah. You got to really change that mindset, though. And that is tough to do.
It is.
But that's, that's an inspiring, it's tough, but it's not impossible. I mean, nothing's impossible.
I think when women can come together, and if you look at major things in history, when women come together, change can happen.
Right.
And so I think it's really important that we, in terms of building doors and in terms of voiceover, that we understand that when the woman beside us wins, we win.
Right. Now, do you feel, though, now that there has obviously been a shift over the last 10, 15 years in casting with more inclusivity, vocal ranges, gender fluidity. Do you feel that any of that has helped your cause? I mean, I know you just started this, but I'm just saying, we've gone so far away from the announcer, the man, who's in the booth doing everything, that don't you think that now, I mean, this is a perfect time to really roll this out?
What's so interesting about that question, because it's a question that I asked myself as well. It's a question that is one that often comes up when I meet with people. I have about 3 to 4 Zoom conversations a week with potential partners, with just really anybody I can get a Zoom call with that's outside of VO, right? That potentially could lead me to someone else. And that mindset is really prevalent, which is, Christy, I hear women on the radio all the time. Is this really a problem? Christy, Erin Andrews reports live every Sunday from a football field. Is this really a problem?
There's one Erin Andrews. Okay. Yeah.
Let's not mistake that I can name right now, I can name you 5 women that I know that have voiced an NFL promo I can name 5 of them off the top of my head. And that's amazing. They're amazing women. They're amazingly talented.
Just this
But
morning.
I can't name all of the men because there's so many.
Yeah. Oh God.
And
yeah.
so to that point, I've even spoke to women, female voice actors that say there's plenty of opportunities for women in male dominated sports and male dominated brands. There's plenty of opportunity. And so I went in search of data because I think data really does speak the loudest and you really can't argue with it.
Yeah.
It is what it is. And I was really searching long and hard for someone to prove me wrong, these feelings that I had from my experience and what I was hearing from other women. And I couldn't find a lot of data. So I decided to collect my own. I probably like 2 or 3 months into the campaign, I posted a link to a survey on all the social medias and I asked voice actors to take it. It was 5 questions. It was multiple choice. I kept it up for I think 3 weeks. I had just under 200 people fill it out. And demographically speaking, it was pretty equal to men and women. It was something like 50-some percent, 56% women, the rest men. So it wasn't lopsided. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
In gender
Okay.
who filled it out.
Mm-hmm.
The one question that I asked was, in the last 12 months, how many auditions have you received for male-dominated sports promo? 73% of men said that they have received 5+ auditions in the last 12 months, which means 27% of women said they have. That is not equity. Mm-hmm. That is disparity. That shows that there's a long way to go into making the opportunities, the access to opportunities greater for women. And I really want to take this time to share that building doors is not about brand bashing. It's not about male bashing. It's not about taking jobs away from men. It's about simply affording women the same amount of opportunities that men have to voice in male-dominated brands. That's it.
Right.
If you were meant for that job, you're still going to get that job.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Well, with the folks that are doing the hiring now and managing the projects, you have the millennial minded crew and soon it'll be the Gen Zers coming up and putting their 2 cents on everything that we are a part of. So it'll be interesting to see the shift. I just read this morning, I'm a big hockey fan. I just read this morning that the first female assistant coach for Seattle Kraken just got, appointed and introduced. And I was like, oh my God, that's so awesome.
Amazing, right?
Yeah.
I saw that online.
Saw that? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's like little baby steps, little things happening,
That's absolutely right. It's all baby steps.
God.
When I look at the last 10 months of this campaign and what I've been able to accomplish, it truly is baby steps. It takes me between 5, 7, 9 Zoom calls before I get to my desired person. And do you know who gets me there? Women.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Women are the ones that are willing to take my call.
Mm-hmm.
Women are the ones that are willing to hop on a Zoom and say, ooh, I know this person. Let me do a warm introduction.
That's great. You're working
It's
hard,
mostly
though.
women.
My God.
What's that?
You are working hard, though.
It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And it's really going against my promo passion of being a sprinter. I'm not an audiobook girl. I'm not a marathoner. I'm not a turtle. I love turtles, but I'm not a turtle.
You got tenacity, I'll tell you that, lady. Because you've got endurance, tenacity. I don't think I'd be cut out for that long ass of a journey that you're on right now. It's incredible, and I'm loving it. I'm just like, I'm totally impressed because I'm like putting myself in your shoes and going, how the hell would I do that? I wouldn't be able to do that.
Well, it's kind of like I don't. I can only imagine if I were to be someone who uses recreational drugs on the regular basis. Getting that face-to-face call with that brand is like a drug. It's like it fuels me to want to go do it again. Like I just proved that I could do it.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a big, do you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I just had a conversation with this, and so it just fuels me. And it's like, wow, if I can do it with this brand, who says I can't do it with that brand?
Well, it's like booking a great job. booking a big
Yes.
gig. And then you're like, what? They
Yes.
picked me. And then you're like, wait a minute. Maybe I
can do this.
Yeah, maybe I could get this other client. Same kind
It's
of thing.
exactly like that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Wow, this is fascinating. So buildingdoorsvo.com.
Yes, ma'am. And we just launched our new Instagram and LinkedIn pages because I did a data analysis of the last 10 months and realized that the most engagement was happening on those two channels. We currently post on 5 social media networks.
Where on Instagram and where?
The handles are Building Doors VO.
Right. You said what channels are the ones that?
LinkedIn and Instagram. And that's why we created Building Doors pages to get them off of mine. Because, when I first started this campaign, I was like, where am I going to put it? Well, it has to be mine.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to, create and try and get people over there, right, to this other page. So now that we've established the brand and established people showing up on a regular basis to check it out, I'm slowly trying to get them to go over to these other 2 pages where all content will now exist off of my social media and onto Building Doors designated pages on LinkedIn and Instagram.
There's so much power in that, in sharing. It's just
huge.
It's how our world works to get anything done, really. One of my students, I have a community, it's a Voiceover Gurus community, and it's made up of students that come. And it's very much, about come bring your talents. We do a weekly script read challenge. People get to and it's a lot of people that are just starting out, but they get a chance to hear other people's reads. And there is one student there, Carrie Ferris, hello, Carrie, who has now created this thing she's doing, which is so cool, where she's reaching out to individual people in the group and saying, hey, let's do a video together. Let's get an insight into your day-to-day life. And they're really creative. So she'll write it and she'll work with the other talent and she does the editing on her end, and then she posts it and she tags, gurus and the talent, and she's getting jobs just from her sharing. She is getting clients that are seeing her videos, her reels. And but she's doing it solely to help the community and to help our fellow actors. To everybody helps. It's like there's no, it's all about me. It's not about that anymore. It's about raising up your friends and in this case raising up female talent. But I'm very impressive.
I would also like to point out, and I said this to a VO colleague yesterday over the phone. And this is more so for anyone listening who might be intimidated by social media or may think they don't have enough followers and they don't have enough likes. I have less than 2,600 people on LinkedIn that I'm connected with. I don't even think on Instagram I'm over like 300 or 400. Like I'd have to go and check. So don't let that stop you from following through on an idea that you have and using social media as a tool to get it. You don't have to have a ton of followers. You don't have to have a ton of likes. You don't have to have that. You can still make an impact and get your message out to the people who it will resonate.
What I'm finding, and folks are telling me, is that the difficulty is creating that content and feeling the confidence that, and I know I've faced that too, because I don't post a ton of personal stuff and people are like, why aren't you talking about this? I'm like a huge hockey fan. I'm huge on Halloween. I've been decorating since fucking mid-September. And do I post it? No. But people want to know. I'm like, do they though? And that's what I'm hearing. They're like, well, I don't know what content to create. And then you get that other argument, but that means I have to create regular content. And that takes a lot of work. It
does take a lot of work. And I will say this, in the short 2 weeks that I had before I decided to launch on March 1st, 2024, many times I wanted to back out.
Yeah.
Many. I said to myself, who am I to do this? Is it even going to land? Are people even going to pick up on it and gravitate to it?
Yeah.
Who do I think I am to try this when I only have 2,500 connections on LinkedIn and I have a couple hundred on Instagram and I have 0, like basically 57 on Facebook? And who am I to do this? Many times I was going to back out. And then I reminded myself that I had nothing to lose because I have spent the last 4 to 5 years following all the rules in how you should market yourself, how you should reach out, how you should get your dream client, the cold emails, the 9 follow-ups, the LinkedIn messages, the knowing somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody.
Mhm.
So what did I have to lose?
Yeah. I love that.
I had tried it all.
I love
Nothing.
that.
I had nothing to lose by not following the rules.
Yeah. I love that. That's how you succeed.
And so I'm saying that to you, and I'm saying it to everyone else that you've talked to. Why not share your love for hockey? Why not share your love for Halloween? Why not share a post of how you've decorated the before and after of your mantle? Why not? The people who are supposed to see it and the people who like it are going to find it, and you're going to create your tribe.
Yeah. It's stop the friggin' self-doubt.
Right?
I know. But it's
create your own space, right?
It's a self-doubt that, especially as talent and performers, we deal with all the time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's
100%.
It's getting that, courage up to say, you know what, I'm going to, I feel like I'm a little, because I'm in my 50s, I'm like, kind of like creaking around. But no, it's possible. It's possible to give content that people would be interested in. So this is great. I'm so appreciative that you came on and talked about, your passions and your focus. And this is fantastic. I really wish you all the best for 2025 and all your ambassadors. And
thank you so much. And I really appreciate the space and grace to kind of talk more about Building Doors and introduce it to all of your community. It's the only way that it's going to advance and grow moving forward. So thank you very much.
Yeah, if there's any way I can ever help you, let me know, please. Okay.
I will. I will totally reach out to you.
Being in this business, but it's buildingdoorsvo.com. I, again, will put it in the notes. And yeah, Christy, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
That wraps it up for this episode of the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Visit our website, voiceover.guru. We have coaching sessions all the time. And of course, join the community. It's free. It's free. And you meet some great people, and then you get to hear what other people do with their script reads as well. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to the Voiceover Gurus podcast. Real talk about the voiceover industry. Learn more about us and get coaching at voiceover.guru.